Hey there listeners, it's Red, your guide through the roller coaster of relationships on our channel Red Hunt. Get ready to dive into real-life stories that will make you laugh, cry, and maybe even question everything you thought you knew about love. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our ever-growing community. If you don't like it, you can leave. Okay, I, a 24-year-old female, lived in an apartment with my ex-fiancé, a 28-year-old male, let's call him F, for about 4 years. Due to both of us treating each other poorly, the relationship didn't last. We called off the engagement in September of 2022, but our lease continued until the following July. We agreed to live together until then. Fast forward to April 2023. On a Tuesday morning, I woke up to find another woman's clothes in my bathroom. It wasn't a big deal since F and I were coexisting as roommates without any romantic feelings. However, issues arose when EF explained that this woman, let's call her L, would not just be spending one night, but would be living with us for an indefinite period. For context, EF has a tendency to try and save people, and L tends to play the damsel in distress. F had rescued her from a situation she made up because she developed feelings for him. I informed them both that I expected us to split the bills 3 ways, but EF didn't like that. He insisted that we continue splitting the bills 50-50. I told him that wouldn't work, and he responded by saying, "If you don't like it, then you can leave." In the 4 years we were together, EF failed to learn one thing about me. I am determined to achieve whatever I set my mind to. With that one line, I was motivated to leave. Luckily, I found an opportunity on Facebook Marketplace for a room in the same neighborhood. I messaged the poster on Thursday, and by Friday, I was moving my belongings in. When I informed EF of my decision, he was shocked. He didn't think I would leave so quickly. He tried to convince me to stay, but I simply told him that I no longer enjoyed being there, so I was leaving. The week between L's arrival and my departure was terrible, and both of us treated each other poorly. The toxicity was overwhelming, and although leaving the place where I had been comfortable was scary, it was also a huge relief to leave behind all the negative aspects of that period in one swift move. A couple of months later, L got a part-time job but spent all her paychecks on alcohol. F detests alcohol for personal reasons, so the romance quickly fizzled out. L ended up contacting the guy F had initially saved her from and made EF into the new villain. She left that night and never returned. F kept me updated. We were still friends at that point, and I wanted to be there to witness the impending fallout. Apparently, F had given L so much money that he couldn't afford his rent anymore. He had to move back in with his parents just 2 months after I left. Bonus pettiness! During the week I was searching for a new place, things got really bad. F, who loved video games more than anything else, decided to cut off my phone from his plan without informing me first. So, I figured the only way to get his attention was to change the Wi-Fi password. I had a light bulb moment. Why not make a point and take the entire modem? That's exactly what I did. I unplugged the modem from the wall, and within 10 minutes, my phone turned back on. He texted me, asking me to return the modem, and I told him I would as soon as he removed my phone from his plan. Problem solved. Damn, what a roller coaster of a situation. Good on you for making the decision to leave and finding a new place so quickly. And that modem move was some epic pettiness. I love it. Getting pressure to dump BF because he was engaged to my sister's BF. This is a long one. I am a 21-year-old female, me, and I have an older sister named Lila, who is 22. Lila's best friend is Kate, who is 23. Kate's ex-fiancé is James, who is 25, and his best friend is Kyle, who is 24. These names are fake, and I am using my mobile to write this, so please excuse any punctuation and typos. We all grew up together in a small town in the southern part of the United States. Kate and James started dating when they were in their sophomore year of high school. This caused quite a stir in our small town because James is African American while the rest of us are white. Despite this, James and Kate seemed like an amazing couple and appeared genuinely happy. At the end of their senior year, James proposed to Kate, and she accepted. However, he soon enlisted in the army. Unfortunately, while James was going through basic training, Kate cheated on him and became pregnant. The news spread quickly, and eventually, Kyle, who was dating my older sister Lila, told James about it. James was devastated. When asked why she cheated on James, Kate admitted that she couldn't handle the judgment from her parents and some close-minded people in our town if she married a black man. When my sister told me this, I was furious. Kate and I weren't particularly close since she was mostly Lila's friend, but I had no idea she could be so cruel. Kate and her affair partner decided to live together, and they are now engaged. 2 years ago, Lila and Kyle got married. Both Kate and I were part of the wedding party, and James got permission to attend. I had a conversation with James at the wedding, and he is an incredible person. He hadn't been in a serious relationship since breaking up with Kate. Throughout the wedding night, I noticed Kate giving me dirty looks a few times, but overall, it was a great evening. To make a long story short, James and I stayed in touch, and after several months of talking, we began an exclusive relationship. Lila was thrilled about it because she knows James is a good man. Kyle also supported us. The only person upset is Kate. She claims that I intentionally hurt her and has been bombarding me with texts and calls, demanding that I break up with James. She's also giving Lila a hard time about it. Lila says she's staying neutral, calling herself Switzerland, but secretly she has told me that she is completely on my side. I genuinely like James. He is a great guy and we have a lot in common. His service in the army is almost over, and he plans to move to the city where I currently attend college. It's in the same state as our hometown, but about 2 hours away. I want to see where this relationship can go. However, when I talked to a friend of mine about it, she mentioned that she understands why Kate is angry, suggesting that I might be in the wrong. So am I in the wrong? Should I break up with James? I'm seeking opinions from strangers because everyone else in my life is too involved in this situation. It's important to note that while Kate and James were together, I never flirted with him. To be honest, we hardly ever talked because we didn't share the same group of friends. However, I was aware of his existence and had some occasional communication with him. Honestly, I don't think you're in the wrong here. Kate made her own choices, and now she has to deal with the consequences. If you and James have a genuine connection and want to see where this goes, then go for it. Don't let someone else's anger dictate your happiness. Am I the antagonist for making it clear to my cousin that we are not the same and will never be on the same page? I, a 26-year-old female, was adopted when I was an infant and have never met my birth family. At 19, with the support of my parents, I tried to find some answers, but it was clear that my birth family wanted nothing to do with me. I couldn't even access the medical records. The reason behind this rejection is that I was the result of an affair. My birth mother initially tried to pass me off as her husband's child, but when he found out, it was too late for her to have an abortion. Additionally, my birth father and his wife also wanted no involvement in my life. Neither side of the family, including the siblings or any extended family members, wanted to acknowledge me. I felt like a shameful part of their history that they wanted to erase. Although it was not a secret, I was not considered a person in their eyes. While the rejection didn't deeply hurt me, I was frustrated by the lack of medical information, which was the main reason I reached out to them. It was never about wanting to meet my real family, as I already considered my adoptive family my true family. That sums up my adoption-related background. I have a 21-year-old cousin who is also adopted. Like me, she was adopted as an infant. Her adoptive parents are my uncle, my dad's brother, and my aunt, my dad's sister-in-law. Unlike me, my cousin has always longed to know her birth family. She found out about her adoption when she was 10 because a cousin revealed it, not because her parents told her. Her relationship with her parents is not great, and she struggles more with being adopted. She often feels lost. She has confided in me before, and I have always been supportive. I listened and cheered her on whenever she expressed the desire to find her birth family. However, despite her efforts, she has been unable to find any information. Now, she is fixated on the idea that I should reach out to my birth family again. She believes that it deeply upsets me and leaves me longing to know them, even though they have rejected me. I have explained that I never felt that way, and my primary concern was medical history when I reached out. I've suggested she find other adoptees who share similar experiences, but she is persistent, insisting that our experiences and feelings are the same, and that we should support each other and find our real families together. Last week, I lost my temper with her. I told her we are not the same, and she needs to accept that I don't care and don't want to find my birth family. I also expressed my inability to continue helping her if she cannot accept this. I said this after she tried to give me another DNA kit. Her persistent and pushy behavior, wasting her money, frustrated me. She argued that we should have each other's backs as adoptees in the family. Am I in the wrong here? It's clear that you have different perspectives and feelings about your adoption compared to your cousin. You have repeatedly stated your disinterest in finding your birth family and have been honest about your motivations for reaching out in the first place. Your cousin needs to respect your boundaries and understand that your experiences are not the same. Am I the antagonist for arguing with my wife about her sister staying with us in a time of need? My wife, who is 34 years old, has a younger sister named Jen, who is 28 years old. I, a 39-year-old male, do not have a good relationship with Jen. When my wife and I first started dating about 12 years ago, Jen would make disrespectful comments whenever I was around, criticizing the age gap between us. At the time, I discussed this issue with my wife, and she assured me that Jen was just being a rebellious teenager and didn't mean any harm. Despite expressing my discomfort, my wife advised me not to take Jen's comments seriously because she was young and immature. After we got married, Jen made a joke during a family gathering, suggesting that she can now be more assured that I am not a predator. Over the years, she has made numerous other derogatory remarks about men in my presence, although she has gradually done it less as she matured. However, she has never apologized for any of her behavior. As a result, I strongly dislike Jen, and if it weren't for my wife, I would choose to have no contact with her. I typically avoid her as much as possible. Last week, my wife informed me that Jen is going through a divorce from her wife and is in a vulnerable state mentally and emotionally, requiring assistance. My wife mentioned that she offered to let Jen stay with us while she tries to sort things out. I asked her if she was serious, to which she replied affirmatively. My wife explained that her sister currently needs help, so naturally she wants to support her. I firmly expressed my disagreement with this decision, stating that I am 100% opposed to having Jen in our house. I clarified that I dislike her and don't want her presence around me. My wife reminded me that Jen and her wife have visited us before for family events, but I explained that this situation is different from having Jen stay with us. I emphasized that I don't care if it's an emergency. She should have consulted me before making a unilateral decision, and I find it unfair. My wife argued that I should set aside my ego and recognize that Jen is going through a traumatic experience, needing our assistance. I countered that Jen neither wants nor requires my help, but she knows that my wife will do anything for her. Hence, it seems my feelings hold no value. My wife urged me not to argue about this matter, insisting that it would only add stress to everyone. She accused me of being inconsiderate for not being the bigger person when her sister is in need. Feeling cornered, I informed my wife that I will make it easier for her and leave. She inquired about where I would go, and I admitted that I haven't yet figured that out but would rather be anywhere else than have Jen staying in my home. She attempted to negotiate, promising to make Jen apologize, but I dismissed the idea, asserting that a forced apology would mean nothing to me. Ultimately, I presented my wife with an ultimatum. If Jen is coming, then I am leaving. She revealed that Jen has nowhere else to go at the moment, so I started packing a bag and have been staying at a hotel for the past 2 nights. My wife is persistently texting and calling, urging me to come home and claiming that Jen wants to apologize. However, I remain indifferent to these attempts. My wife believes I am exaggerating the situation and insists that I should return home and listen to Jen's apology. What should I do? That's a tough situation. I can totally see why you wouldn't want Jen staying with you after all the comments she's made over the years. It's understandable that you're feeling disrespected and uncomfortable. It's up to you to decide what you're willing to tolerate, but it might be worth considering giving Jen a chance to apologize and explain herself before making a final decision. I discovered that my partner lied to me about his parents being dead, and I don't know what to do. How do I approach this? I, 24-year-old female, met my partner, 24-year-old male, in February last year in a college class. We instantly connected, and one of the main things we connected on was my work and child welfare. He had told me that he spent a lot of time in foster care, as his mother and father both passed away when he was a baby, and it was one of the first things we deeply talked about together. Over the months, we never really established we were in a relationship, but now we are at a point where we call each other our partner and are seeing each other exclusively. However, it has always felt like something was holding us back from becoming official, and I think it is because he lied to me about his family being dead. Basically, a few months into us going out, I started to notice some gaps in things he would tell me, names of family members, details of his childhood, etc. And he was very, very weird with social media. One day I went to look him up on Facebook, and I could not find his profile. This was a bit odd, as I remember I looked him up a while back and was able to find him. So I had my friend look him up and they found him no problem. We believe he blocked me because on his page and tagged post, he was interacting with people who have the same last name as him, and had posted about him being the younger brother and one woman posting how she was a proud mother of him. Now, this would check out if he had a foster family, but he asserted time and again that he never had a foster family and still has his biological father's last name. Now, this is where things get weird. He told me that his middle name was the first name of his dad, and that he was told he looked exactly like his dad when he was younger. On Facebook, we found a guy with his middle name as his first name and same last name, and this guy looked exactly like my partner and had pictures of him on his page. After some more searching, we found public records that showed he lived with this older guy and older woman who we are now certain are his parents. The worst part of this is we were in the car one day and his phone was connected to the Bluetooth, and he had an incoming call one day, and the screen name was Dad. I pretended I hadn't seen because I just froze in confusion, and since then I had been stuck with what to do. Now, there is a lot more we found, but the main thing here is I found a lot that shows he lied to me about these really huge things. I tried easing the waters recently and asked why I couldn't find him on Facebook, and he made a comment along the lines of what's really on my social media. I am nervous of you finding, followed by another comment the next day where he asked me what did you find online when you looked me up. I just really do not know what to do. I don't know how to approach this with him, or I even should. I'm starting to think I love this person, even despite this lie, and it's all just been eating at me. It's understandable that you're feeling confused and unsure about what to do. It's important to have open and honest communication with your partner, so maybe try having a calm conversation with him about your concerns and what you've discovered. It's up to you to decide if you can move past the lie and still trust him, but make sure you prioritize your own feelings and well-being in this situation. Good luck! Am I the antagonist for siding with my mom and opt out of family dinner? We are Chinese, and Lunar New Year is the most important day for us. Traditionally, we celebrate with a feast at Grandma's house the night before. It's similar to Thanksgiving dinner in the West, where we bring food we bought or cooked during the day. However, this year my aunt decided that we would have the dinner at a seafood restaurant. Unfortunately, my mom and I are allergic to seafood. When I eat shellfish, I get a mild rash on my arms and legs. If I eat finned fish, I experience hives, swollen lips, and a tingling throat. My mom gets a rash on her face and a headache. Despite our allergies, we sometimes eat shellfish as our reactions are not severe, but we immediately take medication afterwards. However, we generally avoid finned fish dishes. While we were working, my aunt sent the menu to the group chat. The set menu includes 10 dishes, with 8 of them being finned fish and shellfish, 1 carb dish, and 1 beef platter. Only one person replied yes to the menu, and within an hour my aunt booked tables for all of us with a non-refundable down payment. When we found out, we were upset, especially my mom. However, since there was one beef dish we could eat, we decided we would just have that with rice. Later on, we discovered that this place is a live steam-yourself restaurant, similar to a hot pot or BBQ place. This changed everything because it meant that the beef would be steamed in the same area as the seafood, leading to cross-contamination. My mom complained to my dad about how selfish my aunt was for booking a place without getting approval from everyone in the group. My dad asked my aunt to make changes to the menu, but it turned out to be impossible since it was part of the Lunar New Year package. The package was also extremely expensive, close to $2,000 in total, compared to what we usually spend for the Lunar New Year dinner at Grandma's house. My aunt had already paid a $300 down payment, so she didn't want to cancel the reservation. In response, my mom argued that we couldn't have known about the seafood allergy issue before my aunt made the reservation, as we were working and it was still within office hours when the group chat message was sent. Frustrated, my mom decided to opt out of the dinner entirely. Naturally, I sided with my mom. Out of the 10 dishes, there was essentially nothing we could eat without experiencing an allergic reaction. Additionally, my dad was still expected to pay for 3 people, myself, him and my mom. My aunt continued to message the chat suggesting that we could order something else, even if it meant paying extra. This seemed ridiculous to us. While I could handle a rash from consuming shellfish, I definitely don't want to deal with swollen lips, not on that day or any day. My dad is also upset, yet he believes we are overreacting because he was willing to pay extra for us to order something separate. However, who wants to sit at a separate table with only beef and fried rice while everyone else enjoys a grand feast? Now, some people in the group are mad at us, claiming that they tried to accommodate us but we rejected their kind gesture. It's unbelievable. So in this situation I ask, am I the one in the wrong here? Are we being unreasonable? It's completely reasonable for you and your mom to opt out of the dinner if there's nothing you can eat without experiencing allergic reactions. Your aunt should have asked about everyone's dietary restrictions before making the reservation, especially if it's such an expensive meal. It's not fair for you and your mom to have to sit at a separate table while everyone else enjoys the feast. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.